Greetings. My name is Craig Sienna. Today, we wish to talk about the results of our personality study. Abstract. In this presentation, we will examine and undertake a discussion of the personality profile of the research subject, Erica S., examining a nature versus nurture argument for the subject in the broader context of the Big Five personality traits. Digman gave us the acronym OCEAN for the Big Five, denoting openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Hypothesis that the subject exhibits normal personality scores in reference to the mean scores for the 5 domains listed by open source. Our null hypothesis is that the subject does not exhibit normal personality traits in reference to the average scores. Our research question. The method used is a questionnaire test designed to capture the participants' responses to the questions which are relevant to the Big Five personality traits. The BFTP test was provided by Open Source Psychometrics. The test is 50 questions long and employs a 5-point Likert scale from 1, which denotes disagreement, to 5, which is agreement, and performed a self-assessment which was designed to produce a score for each of the Big Five domains: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Each question was designed to add or subtract from the standard set up by the test. Scores closer to 5 indicate the subject was highly ranked in the category. Introduction. The subject, Erica S., lives with her husband and 2 children in New York City. Her parents are professionals and were proponents of self-regulation for the children. The participant was the younger of 2 siblings. She describes her childhood as normal and happy. Her parents valued schoolwork and education and credits them with her tendency towards being goal-oriented, attending a top prep school, top university, and pursuing a Juris Doctorate in law. She is now a practicing trust and estates attorney. Her hobbies include needlepoint, Pilates, mahjong, and reading. Our method. The subject was placed in a quiet room in her home office and was asked each question for her self-assessment. There was ample time to go through the 50-question evaluation. Questions are read to the participant, taking careful notes to gauge the participant's reactions. Scores and answers will be compared to the answers given by the 10,000 participants who have previously taken this exam online. Our results. In terms of openness, we associate openness with intellectual curiosity, aesthetic sensitivity, and creativity. John and Robbins. Openness was referred to by Candler as one of the integrative domains, and according to Gupta, had little to do with genetics. With regards to openness, our subject reacted affirmatively to being full of ideas and having excellent ideas, which propped her score. Detractors from the score had to do with her imagination, which she didn't think was particularly relevant. Her score reflected a large variance from the mean in terms of scores for this domain. Conscientiousness. When we describe someone as conscientious, we think of them as organized, responsible, and possessing a sense of self-discipline. John and Robbins. A domain that is characterized by Candler as being more integrative in nature and less linked to genetic influence. The participants scored highly in terms of keeping a schedule and liking order. However, the subject admitted that she was less interested in making sure things were tidy and disinterested in putting things back in their proper place, and didn't see why those things were important, which makes for an interesting divergence in her personality. Extroversion. When we think in terms of extroversion, we think in terms of people who are sociable, talkative, assertive, and excitable. Scientific research has identified specific genes like WCD2, MTMR9, PCDH15 associated with extroversion. These genes influence sociability, emphasizing the intricate relationship between genetics and social behavior. Our personality study, the subject was on the higher end of the scale for extroversion, but did not score higher than the stated mean from other participants who have taken the online examination. Agreeableness, defined as the type of person who orients themselves as prosocial, communal, and so major facets include compassion, respect, and trust. In Candler, they discuss the regulative and integrative aspects of the Big Five domains. As such, agreeableness was found to be more integrative and less linked to genetics. Our subjects scored closest to our mean result in terms of agreeableness. In many instances, our subject reported a sense of empathy towards others. Neuroticism. John and Robbins described those with high neuroticism to be tense, anxious, nervous, and moody, while those low in neuroticism were associated with stability, calm, and contentment. John and Robbins. Neuroticism was an area delineated by Candler as having a strong link to genetics, and Gupta et al. Performed a massive meta-analysis capturing 449,000 subjects, finding a total of 136 loci and 599 genes that showed a wide association. In terms of our subject, she registered very low neuroticism, reading over one standard deviation from the mean. In the self-assessment, the subject described herself as moody and prone to mood changes. She also reported some depressive tendencies, which are captured by questions like, do you feel blue? And are you relaxed most of the time? Questions which elicited agreement. Lastly, our discussion. Subject scores were consistent with the findings of the transcriptome-wide association study that found the highest genetic linkages with extroversion and neuroticism, and the lowest linkages with agreeableness, openness, and conscientiousness. In the genetically linked domains, the subject's answers were more consistent across the board. In the areas that are thought to be more integrative, there is a wide range of answers, some in stark contrast to others. Given the scores for the subject range far from the mean in each domain, we accept the null hypothesis.